If the Great White Hope accepted Islam, would you accept Islam?
No,
Why not?
because I'm a Christian.
What drew you to Christianity?
God,
And do you feel like, have you ever looked into Islam?
I have,
And
but
what is it about
but
Islam
just to
that,
understand it better, not to be a member of it or anything like that. And the thing that I don't trust about Islam is that, and maybe they've changed it now, you are taught to lie and deceive the Christians and the Jews, and that the Islam people see us as infidels, and their whole mission is to destroy the infidels. And I know that the Muslims want to conquer the world.
yeah. No one will shy away from that.
Why you want to
Referral
conquer the
program.
world?
Islam will eventually rule the entire earth, every nation. This is why they keep moving into nations and having lots of children while Westerners castrate their children and abort their babies. See, they have the long view of things. If we can just get people into the future, we can rule the future. And the goal ultimately is when they bring complete and total domination of the world, they will rule with an iron fist. It'll bring about a peace that will then allow a king to rise up and rule the world as his kingdom, their king. This is the Antichrist.
It's always fun. I get a chuckle, when someone is wearing the, Free Palestine shirt and the gay flag. And,
It's like, they would literally murder you, right?
So, it's funny. I used to say that, hey, if you as a gay person would go to Gaza, they'd throw you off of tall buildings, right? Now they don't have any tall buildings left, so I don't.
When you mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Is that too soon? I'm sorry. Maybe you shouldn't kill Jews, stupid Muslims.
Peace to all my gods and goddesses. It's the man, it's the minor god, Marco Ja, on another episode of the Second Chamber. It's glad to be back. I'm glad to be back. Did drop a video a couple of days ago. I hope y'all do check that out. But let's get into it, y'all. This episode is called Why the Western World is Threatened by Islam, doesn't like Islam. I see a lot of things online, a lot of videos online, a lot of people criticizing Islam as well, people of all colors, creeds, religion, and I see as well too that Patrick Bet David, a real high profile YouTuber, he criticizes Islam, and I remember he recently dropped a video on X saying that Christians were getting killed in Nigeria, which is very alarming as well. Patrick Bet David has as well had many debates when it came to the ideology of Christianity and Islam. And then I remember as well, like last year I did a video on it was a bishop from Australia that's very famous on TikTok. I can't really think of his name right now. He criticized Islam, and some young man went up to him while he was preaching and stabbed him a couple of times. He even got stabbed in the eye. I really haven't seen him. I really haven't seen him online as well. And then you see as well other people like Jesse Lee Peterson, and it's like talking points of how Islam is trying to take over the world, and Islam is trying to force convert people into Islam as well. A lot of people from Europe are complaining about a lot of Muslims moving in as well. And I do know another country, I think Denmark, has banned the burqa. So, the Western world does have a very negative view of Islam. A lot of people do. Some are neutral. Some are warm and loving and embrace Muslims like myself. Now, I would say, man, just me, personally, me being a Muslim, I've been practicing for the past almost 8 years now. We Muslims, we believe that God's true religion is Islam, the submission, the entire submission of God's will. And yes, there are other religions that are similar, just with the monotheistic, the monotheistic views in our religion. You can include Sikh, you can include the Druze faith, you can include, a lot of other things, even though you could even include Christianity, which is kind of a borderline monotheistic religion. But we believe that Islam is God's true religion, and we believe that Islam has been on this earth since the beginning of time. It didn't just start with Prophet Muhammad. It came in many forms and in different names. So we believe that Islam has been here since man has been created. It's been here since the beginning of time, and it will be here forever. Now, you have Judaism. Judaism is very similar to Islam. We don't have the same customs and tradition in Judaism, but the Jews, if you want to call them that, have a history of disobeying God, not keeping up, the strict monotheism. We in Islam, we believe that a lot of different faiths and religions have been tainted and corrupt, just with a lot of people taking and adding things in the Bible, just with the Torah. Like a lot of Jews have taken things in and out of the Torah. And then as well, just how the Hebrews, the Jews, had a history of disobeying God. A lot of, if you're looking at history, really, when it comes to the Jews, a lot of them ventured off into sorcery, into worshiping other gods, and sometimes there's some Jews that as well went into the occult. I'm not really too knowledgeable when it comes to Kabbalah, but some people say that the Kabbalah faith has some occultism and mysticism in that sect of Judaism. So we believe that Islam was the last revelation that was sent by God. It was the last revelation because a lot of faiths that was already here on earth, and then as well it was polytheists out here, worshiping many gods, a lot of religion was tainted and corrupt, and that's why Islam came the way it came. But like I said too, we believe Islam has always been in the world. It came in different forms and different names. We even believe that Jesus Christ is a Muslim. And I'm just speaking to those who might be ignorant or uneducated when it comes to Islam. A lot of people are, and I see a lot of people online criticize Islam. But that's kind of, what we believe now. When it comes, I would say just me rubbing shoulders and talking to Muslims. I'm not gonna say, man, we have an agenda to take over the world, and we have an agenda to put everybody in Sharia law as different Muslims, and Muslims believe in different things. But I would say we're not. We are against that. And then the Quran teaches us to live in peace with Jews and Christians and other peoples of different faiths, and never to be the aggressor. But that's what we believe. I can't really maybe speak for people who are on the Eastern Hemisphere who practice Islam, but I would say majority of people who practice Islam are peaceful as well. Now, yes, there are people in Islam that they call quote unquote terrorists or extremists. Yes, that exists, but I feel like it exists in every religion. It exists in every religion. Now, dude, I want to say this, man, too, that Elijah Muhammad taught that that the reason why the Western world doesn't accept the reason why the Western world doesn't accept Islam is because it goes against everything what the Western world is for. Islam is the entire submission of God's will. It's not being lukewarm. It's not, it's not having one foot with God and the other with the world. And true Christianity is like that as well, too. I would say Islam as well is less divided when it comes to Judaism and Christianity. Is more universal. It's more less divided. But the division does happen in Islam, and some people believe in different things and agree with different things, but we all can agree on one thing: the belief and the submission to one God. And I just don't understand why people have such a disdain and hate for Islam when we just worship one God. We believe in the strict worship of one God. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? And I don't understand why the Western world, why it accepts Judaism and more than they do Islam, where in many sects of Judaism, not all, they reject Jesus Christ. And if you look in the history of Judaism And in the Bible, almost every prophet, almost every messenger or apostle that came to them, they rejected, they killed, or suppressed the message of God's messenger. It wasn't just Jesus Christ. So that's how you know that this world is really the devil's world right now, man. That people are getting discriminated and hate spewed towards them just because they believe in one God. They believe in the worship of one God. So I don't, it's like, man, it's like people probably accept, and I watched this video of this one man speaking in the Nation of Islam. He was like, some people would rather have their daughters become whores and sinners than to come to Islam and practice piety, purity, and being pious, which is crazy to me. But back to what I was saying, man, because I remembered something I forgot. But Elijah Muhammad said that the reason why the Western world doesn't like Islam because it go against what they believe in. It goes against the way of life that's in the Western world. Islam teaches you to think right, eat right, to cover your women. It teaches the leadership and role of a man. It teaches women to submit to their husbands, which all Abrahamic religions do. And it teaches the fearing of God. Teaches that the devil is your enemy. It teaches defense and defending yourself against an oppressor. It teaches the fighting in the cause of Allah God. And if you have a religion like that stands on freedom, justice, and equality, then it's a threat to the Western world. Because in my opinion, the Western world does not exhibit that. The Western world has their women running around half naked. The Western world, I live in the Western world. I was born in the Western world. The Western world promotes homosexuality and tolerates it. That the Western world lets their women boss and emasculate their men. And the Western world, since the beginning of its history, has been oppressing people of color, people that are white as well. That's the crazy thing. What the white man did, he freed. First, he made a black man a slave. Then he freed the black slaves and made everybody else a slave. But it goes against the agenda of the Western world. And I really honestly believe a lot of these politicians and a lot of these people in government in Europe and in the Americas, a lot of them, and then we all know that a lot of these people are in secret societies and deal with the occult on some level. So a lot of these people are really the devil, that work for the devils, that really are agents of the devils. Then you gotta think too, Islam is, especially in the East, where Islam is more populated and more prevalent in, you gotta think this is the only part of the world, that the Western world, that a white man does not have control over, which they are trying to. You see how they lied and how they lied and went to war with Iraq, you see how they really didn't have a lot of proof that Osama bin Laden had something to do with 9/11. And you see how they went into Afghanistan for 20 years. You see that all the stuff that we don't even hear about, the bombings in Iran, the bombings in Syria, and then they're supporting Netanyahu's regime that's in Israel, of how he's really oppressing people of color, Muslims, Christians in Israel. So I just feel like the Western world can't get mad when Muslims from Africa and Asia do not really like America. Because we can all say America and the Western world does what they do for freedom, but really they oppress and murder and kill. And when you have a religion that teaches you to fight in the cause of God, to not fear anything but Allah, God, to stand up for justice, stand up for righteousness, it's a threat when, you know, the Western world is not. The Western world used to have Christian values, but they don't have any values, strong core foundation values anymore. It has to become more worldly and secular. Even I'm seeing even churches with the rainbow flags and, you know, saying, I remember this one church I said, you are queerly loved and all this and then you have the Pope even accepting or tolerating homosexuality when the Bible and the Quran teaches us not to accept homosexuality. You know, you can pray and have love for your brother and sister who is homosexual, but it's not to be accepted. It's not to be tolerated. So, I mean, that's what I think of why, that's what I know of why the Western world is not like Islam. And I've seen some things that Charlie Kirk said about Islam, which was really nasty, and with the videos I added, but it just goes against the Western world's agenda. And the funny thing is, Elijah Muhammad said, and I'm quoting Elijah Muhammad, he said, you know, the white man just can't accept Islam in the white man's world, because the white man by nature cannot accept Islam, because Islam is a submission to God, and the white man's nature is to go against the nature of God Allah. The white man in the Western world, they're accepting homosexuality. They're letting women walk around half naked when the majority of women history in this world, they were covered. Islam is not the only religion where women wear hijabs. Even Catholic nuns wear hijabs. So like you see that the white man goes against nature, making different animals and wolves and just putting artificial things in our food and all this poison and you know, that I would just say, man, the devil is real. And I'm not gonna say, hey man, I'm for the destruction of the Western world, but I do feel like the Western world is today's Sodom and Gomorrah, and I would just say, man, this is a time. Right now, it's the time, man, to accept God. I would recommend you accept Islam. We believe that Islam is the black man's nature. It's the man of color's nature. It's not just, hey, we've joined Islam. We are that by nature. Now, yes, there are white Muslims, but we say, hey, the white man has a savage nature. It's not in his nature to follow the orders of God, but we believe the white man as well can turn away from his savage, godless nature and accept Islam, but he has to turn away from his nature. That's what the 5% teachings of Elijah Muhammad teaches. We do believe that, and it's a lot of white people that we revere, that we have love for as well, especially Muslims that are in Russia and Eastern Europe, Muslims that are in the white Muslims that are in the Middle East and the Caucasus mountain region. So, but before I go, because this video has gotten a little too long still, I just want to say, man, that's what that this is a time to really accept God. I would recommend Islam, but if you're Christian, Jew, whatever, but it's the time to not half-step your walk, your relationship with God, because this world is going to get really bad. A lot of bad things are going to happen. God's wrath is real, and what the Western world is doing around the world, oppressing people, oppressing poor people, killing people of color, it's not going to be right with God. Now, you don't have to join Islam or anything. I fear God, and my Bible tells me to fear God and worship one God alone. That's what my Bible told me. That's what my apostle, Jesus Christ, told me to do. So I'm going to just worship one God. But let's not half-step your relationship with God. Get in tune with your Creator, whether you're black, white, yellow, red. And let's fight for justice, freedom, equality. And let's fight for let's fight for this to be God's world instead of it being Satan's world. Because right now it's Satan's world. It's right in front of you. You're seeing people, wearing devil costumes and worshiping the devil. But I said enough, y'all. I want to say peace to all my gods and goddesses and all righteous families of the earth. I could say a lot more, but I just want to halt it. And hey, I might do a part 2. You never know. And that's all I'm going to say, man. I hope y'all have a blessed one, and love y'all guys. Peace. Marcojahtheminorgod. I'm out.